Righto. It is, we're live.
We're live, guys. Episode 15.
Yep.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
As you can tell, this is our very first episode of the night.
Yep. Yep.
And yeah, live. We're live. We live.
We livid and live. Yeah.
What an intro.
So again, just quick
Honestly.
shout out to we'll get it over and done with, mate. To
Yeah, he's on it,
our
eh?
supporters. Yep. So Devil Accessories, the man himself. I say it all the time. Get around him. The business has been on hold for a little bit, but we'll get around him and support him and get the business growing for the rest of the year, amongst all the other businesses he's got running.
Mm-hmm.
Aniki Auto Care did join us for the last live for episode 14. Thanks, mate. Appreciate your support. Absolute legend. And yeah, I've seen you getting a bit going on with your own rig and getting out and amongst it. So yeah, enjoying that. So keep at it. And thanks for your support. Provoked Apparel for all your apparel. Thanks, guys. You're still killing it. Still, yeah, doing the good thing by us, and the business is still killing it. So thank you for your support. Really appreciate it. And yeah, the legends at Renegade Grips. Obviously, there's more than just grips that they do. So look them up, check them out, and get amongst them. And as you say all the time, Buzz, small business, eh?
Yep.
Small business, family business. Get around them and support them
Check
because
it
they
out.
support us. So yeah,
If there's any beers,
yeah.
beer sponsors.
And we will say it again, like we keep asking, please, beer sponsors.
Mate, we're getting to the point where we start begging. Like,
We're
honestly,
actually keen.
Kilkenny, yeah.
Kilkenny, get amongst
Get
it.
some RH on there.
Yeah, well, I've tasted them for the first time tonight. I'm hooked already.
Yeah.
So if we can get you guys on for the future, that'd be really appreciated. Legends.
I told you, like it, eh?
Yeah, it is. It's good, mate. Smooth.
Yeah,
Good.
so again, a reminder, if you didn't watch the last one, we're doing this one live, so if we're not talking to ghosts, we're replying to comments that are live,
Yep.
or live at the moment. And if you're listening online and can't see the video on Spotify and Apple and all that, we're sitting side by side.
Yeah.
Brad and Fee have made the journey down. If you sort of wanted to catch up, we had a catch-up episode on episode 14.
Yep.
So
Go back and listen to that.
Go
or
back
watch
and
it.
listen to that one. If you haven't, why haven't you?
Yeah. Like and subscribe, get amongst it.
Yeah, so we're sitting side by side on my property, out the back of the 79
Yep.
with the coffee machine and using all the solar and all that. So it's pretty cool.
Yep.
Didn't let us down on episode 14, so on episode 15, here we go.
Yeah.
And episode 15 is a redo over because someone's mic wasn't working too good. Not mentioning any names again.
Correct. Yeah.
But we episode 13 we had talking about track closures and rubbish, and there's not a bit of a down of it. It was just a serious, and it was so maybe sort of thinking, why don't we make this next one, which is the next one over now, make
Which
it a
is
positive.
14, but is now 15.
Yeah. Well, it was episode 10 according to the live on the last one.
Yeah.
But yeah, sort of like, what's the positive stuff that happens in the four driver community and camping and anything really? Oh, we've got someone back on the scene. And yeah, so I just want to make it a positive sort of thing. We put the call out a while back. Hopefully I've found most of the comments and stuff we've screenshotted.
Yep.
So feel free to roast Brad for his mic not working as why I can't find those comments.
Yeah.
But no, we're onto it. It's all a learning curve. He has rectified it, just so you know, guys.
Yep.
So it shouldn't happen again.
No, hopefully. Yeah.
Part of the fun.
Yep.
But yeah, so I just wanted to get around, all just the positive stuff in four driving, the funny stuff.
And camping, hiking, fishing.
Whatever
all
you're
the
doing
cool shit,
outdoors.
whatever you're doing outdoors. Yep.
So to start off, and I sort of told you this story on the first one.
Are you remembering all this off your head, bros?
A little bit. No, I just had notes. I should have said yes. No, but I did tell you a little bit on that last one. So if you listen to the last episode, I bought a bus. We bought a property. We're living on a bus, and it's my first time, sort of in that sort of caravan bus sort of environment camping, and quite a few episodes ago. I can't remember what episode it was. Because we just got that many. It talked about those shit moments. It's quite a banger. So I kind of had one of my own. So we got one of those portable toilets in the bus. and I did tell part of this story, and then I can tell the back end story because I figured it out. So I hadn't really, when we first got this bus, we were doing stuff to it, you know, putting a new shower wall in and this and that, and fixing a few things and painting, and my brother-in-law had sort of done something with the toilet, and he reckons he'd used it, and oh yeah, and emptied it. Oh yeah, sweet as it does work. I was like, sweet. So we moved out here. I was like, oh, well, I'm gonna, you know, do my morning shit, and we'll give this a go. And you know, followed through and done what I had to do, and started flushing, and nothing was going down. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with this thing? And you know, I'm just used to that. I just thought it was just like the, you know, the portable toilets you get at parties or events and stuff, and you know, once you flush, the flap goes down and everything disappears. And this was not happening on mine. So I was sitting there and I was like, oh my God, like, what is wrong with this stupid thing? I thought this worked. My brother-in-law said it worked. So I'm out there, brand new screwdriver set, got the big long screwdriver, trying to push this thing down. The flap was not going down. And yeah, so I managed to sort of like shove it down, and it just made it, yeah, it was not an ideal situation. And I sort of, there's a lot of swearing, and I don't have patience, so I just sort of stormed off outside. I'm like, what the fuck is this thing?
You sorted it out, Dale?
Well, I sort of got it cleaned up pretty much, sort of like forced it down. And I was like, fuck, I'm going to YouTube this shit, hey? Like, I think it might have even been the next day, like we went bush sort of thing until then. And then I fucking YouTubed it, and one of the first fucking things that come on the YouTube is, okay, when you use your toilet, please use the lever below the toilet to open the flap.
Oh, true.
So anyone that's a caravaner or has those portable toilets,
Thanks for the heads up.
would know that, yeah, you pull the flap, do your business, then you shut the flap to stop the smell coming up. Well, I did not know this, so
You shit on the flap.
I shit on the flap.
Shit on the flap,
So,
mate.
yeah, I had
are
to
you
take it
doing,
out
mate?
and give it a good clean. And
Oh,
so, I mean, it doesn't quite top his story, but yeah, I guess it was a bit of a funny thing for that we
so I
learned.
didn't know that. I didn't know that they actually had a flap in there.
Yeah, I didn't know that until that was just like, oh yeah, and then she's like pulls the flap across. I'm like, get fucked, it opens.
There you go. There you go.
So, yeah, it was not ideal, but yeah, looks like a last minute living logo up on there on the live.
How's that?
Yeah, at least someone's joined us. Well, Regan's gone because before we'd started properly, we'd told him some not nice words. No.
He's a legend.
Yeah, he is. Oh, it's not loading anywhere. The boys are back. Yes,
The boys
we
are
are.
back?
We are.
Jump on.
Yep, we're on here, boys.
So what also is while Jaden sort of looks up some other questions or what we were talking about, so the good parts of fall driving camp and all the rest of it. Not sure Jaden shitting on the flap was anything to do with the good
The big
parts
intro.
of
The funny. We're positive, mate. Positive.
Yeah, we're positive.
Positive episode.
But can you some of those questions, so the potty that we're trying to replace, do you remember some of the questions on
Yeah,
that?
so how I sort of wanted to lead in this, how I did last time, which I do remember.
Yeah.
Sort of what got me thinking of it was like sort of the community of the Ford, the Ford Drive. So we, bit of a story, just before my daughter was born, Marnie, 2 days before we had to go, we're staying with the parents-in-law, and is that how you say it? That's not the right word.
In-laws.
In-laws, yeah, parents-in-law.
Parents-in-law.
Father-in-law.
Just chucking in some new grammar.
Mate, we're going to write my own dictionary soon.
Yeah, instead of the Urban Dictionary, it's the Jaden Dictionary.
The Jags dictionary.
Yeah, Jags Dictionary.
So we had to leave the parents-in-law, and we headed into town, and we'd had a lightning storm that night before, and with the sort of foresty side, the lightning isn't good when it's a lot of lightning and no rain. So we shot in. There was a bit of smoke sort of crossing a drop the next door, to go past the neighbours, and there's smoke sort of heading towards the neighbours, and we're like, it's a bit weird. Excuse me. And didn't think much of it because there's lots of fires around. We're like, oh, must be that fire that's, the other side of town. It's quite often it, blows a long way. Went to town, and you know, went to the doctor's appointment or nurse midwife appointment. Come back, on the way back, going past the neighbours, the smoke was still there. Glance over and there's flames right friggin' there. So it was a bit of like, oh shit moment. So yeah, raced back down to the parents-in-law, and they'd already figured it out luckily, and they were starting to load fire units on and stuff like that. And yeah, it was obviously all panic stations. I was actually quite impressed with, it must have been my dad instincts kicking in 2 days beforehand. You know, like trying to keep calm and, you know, make sure everything got fueled and this and that. And a bit of carnage. The father-in-law, he's like, I'll tie the fire unit while it's filling up on the back of the ute, and he's gone flying down to the water hole, hit the brakes, the fire unit's gone flying off straight into the water. So yeah, that went pear-shaped, and yeah, it was all a bit of carnage. And I grabbed our machine, father-in-law's machine, posi track, and I headed up there and started cutting sort of fire breaks in. Obviously called the fireys and all that. But the point of the story is, as we were sort of cutting in and we had the fire units, all the volunteers started rocking up, and you know, obviously Deepore, the Parks and Wildlife, you know, they bring all their trucks and stuff in, but there's quite a few volunteers that just, you know, on the
And local
phone call
farmers
roster.
and owners
Yeah.
and stuff like- yeah.
So you had a few boys rock up. They sort of, I'd cut the first, like obviously first priority was to stop going towards the neighbours, cut that track in. They're like, yeah, we've got a loader coming on the way out. Obviously that takes time, you've got to chuck it on the truck, etc, etc. And they said, oh, do you mind carrying on and go in the back of the fire and try and cut off that way? I said, yeah, no worries, so I shut off that way. You know, it was a bit hectic in the fire and all that, but yeah, got around, and you know, by the time I got back around the other side there, all the fire trucks are there, and one of the guys there was sort of managing the fire on site, said, oh, we're sort of good, loader's not far away, you can just go chill up the end there and we'll give you a yell if we need you.
Yep.
So yeah, cruised around the side, come around the corner, and to see how many utes are sitting there ready to go, all the farmers in the area, you know, like a lot of them were nowhere near them, like not affecting them, and just everyone was there.
Yeah,
like, just the community of just, you know, like all these boys are ready to risk their ute, and you know, got their fire tank on there ready to go out there and help their neighbours and other people in the community. It was just sort of a bit of an eye opener, and that sort of brought this topic on. It's like, you know, as much as there is so much negative stuff in all around you, really.
Yeah,
but
100% there is.
you know, like camping and stuff, there's that many flogs and this and that on the beach, and talked about the other episode, you know, people leaving rubbish and cutting up the beach, but there's so many positive stuff that, you know, I'm sure there's stories, and we got a few comments coming back. But yeah, just sort of wanted to, that's what sort of instigated the sort of story.
And I think too, mate, it's like a perfect example now of like just that positive, as much as it's outside of camping and full driving or anything like that, like just the floods, you know, on the eastern states, and you know, we just had cyclones up in the top end, and just that community spirit we talk about all the time. That was all sort of going on when that was going on, and that was sort of where how good is it when the chips are down? Like, because there's so many flogs out there, but when the chips are down, everyone just bands together. Like, it's a massive thing.
It's amazing.
And again, it comes down to, you know, when you're out bush, I'm just trying to think as you were talking then, Buzz, like some of the stories of just people jumping in and giving you a hand. You know, if you're broken down, like we've pulled over on the side of the road to pump our tyres up on so many occasions, and people pull up, it's like, oh, you're right, mate, yeah, all good, yeah, too easy, mate. Like, there's so many people out there to willing to give you a hand.
Yeah, well, we just had the other day, so it blew my mind away. So, if you listen to our last episode, talking about my dad come to build a shelter over my bus, and we'd got most of the materials, but we just wanted a little bit of extra tin for the roof and the sides. So I grabbed a car trailer from the father-in-law's and brought all the tin out. You know, it was a bit over length, but it was all good. Cruised out, brought it here, and we're going to shoot back into town to grab some gutter. So fully empty, driving into town, Next minute, I look in the revision mirror and this trailer's airborne. Like, holy fuck. Like, I'd never just as, Badove. I could just see it in the back window. I'm like, holy shit, trying to slow down. And accidentally just smoke pissing everywhere. I'm like, holy shit. And this trailer had been sort of, not in an accident, but had flipped around and hit a car before. And obviously the U-bolts must have been damaged or something. And it's just unlucky me. It just happened while I'm driving. Luckily empty into town. Like, it could have been a lot worse. It was, and I had a car on the back. But yeah, the whole axle was just ripped out the back. Like, the left axle was sitting sort of at the tail, behind the tail lights, and I just hopped out with Dad was with me. I was just like, I can't even be mad. It's just fucking blowing my mind away. But a couple of people went past us, like whatever, and then bloke rocked up and stopped, and he had a trailer on. He was obviously on a mission.
Yeah.
It was cool. He's like, anything they got help with him? Unless you want to swap me out my axle for your trailer, not really.
Yeah.
But as you do, you have breakdowns and stuff, and you do get people. I talked about in the other episode where I lost my brakes on my N70, and had people stop, and I think out of the 5 people went past 4 of them stopped. So
yeah, absolutely.
There's plenty out there that do it. Yeah, 100%.
No, and look, I mean, I know too. Like, we look at a lot of negatives and that, but just how many people that are still, we talked about on the last episode and the episode, the twin episode that we did with Maddie about how many people, it's probably too late sometimes to kick up a fuss and get around all the causes or whatever, but I still believe too now, that people are listening. Those little petitions and all that sort of stuff where people are starting to listen and still want to go out there and do the right thing, by other people and by the bush, and so we can all use it and all the rest of it. I wasn't sure whether you wanted to get on to, because I know we'd sort of put out the question box the other day, Jaden, about a couple of other questions. Did you want to chuck that into this potty, or do you want to make that a separate potty?
Oh, I suppose we'll just see how we go. I suppose.
Yeah.
Got a few of these other ones to bust through.
Yeah. So.
So we got Nathan Mills. Yep. It was many years ago now, but the misso and I just bought a baby Weber and a small 4 kilo gas bottle. Headed out straight for the bush. We ended up staying at night at Stockton Lake, which is a nice lake near Collie. Arrived pretty late and started setting up for dinner. And what do you know, the gas bottle had a different fitting for the Weber, which I had today because I borrowed a gas bottle for my barbecue and it was a different fitting. We did question the BCF salesman and he swore it would work. Anyways, an older couple in the van let us borrow their cooker and a few other things we forgot to pack. God, you must have related to me. Can't remember their names, but I'll never forget their kindness and generosity. Which is, and it's simple things like that, you probably get through the night fine, but it's just someone willing to hand over their cooking stuff.
Yeah,
and
absolutely. And that's massive, man. Like, and thanks for sharing that with us, Nate. Like, the concept of being out bush, and some people just want to be left alone, and some people won't yarn with you. But the reality is, if you talk to your fellow camper, most people will say, you need a hand with anything, or you're all good, or hey, you're travelling, bloody cooker's just shit itself. Oh, mate, come and bloody grab ours or whatever. Like,
yeah.
99% of people are prepared to do that.
Yeah.
Not everyone. There's always that 1% of flogs. And I think when we originally did the episode that we didn't go to air, that we're trying to do now, but I remember saying to you how many people over time where, we've been camping different parts of Australia, mate, where people have finished their trip and they're in that same campground or in that same camp spot, and they're leaving to go back to civilization. And I'll say to you, hey guys, bloody, we're leaving. We're going to head back into town. We've got some meat here. We're not going to use it, or we've got some bread or whatever you want to use it.
Yeah.
Like, man, we've had that at least 10 times over the years while we've been camping and that. Just
or bait or something.
Some bait, bro. It's like guys that have been down fishing and they're leaving, instead of just going down to the beach and throwing it away. It's like, hey mate, I'm pissing off. Like, do you want to bloody take me bait, because that saves you throwing it away or whatever. So good, man. That's get around that sort of stuff if you're ever out in the bush. I'm not telling people how to suck eggs, but yeah, if you're ever out in the bush and, you know, you're leaving and, you know, you've got stuff left over, whether it be bait when you're fishing, you know, bloody hand it over to the next camper or next fisherman, or, you know, if you're bloody heading home that night and you've got food that's bloody about to go off, I don't know, just anything. Like,
Yeah.
bloody share it out with your fellow, and if they don't want it, they don't want it, like happy days, but you know what it's like. That might be potentially, you know,
Doesn't cost you
just
anything.
water, like just water, you know, like, or, yeah, it doesn't cost you anything, you know, cost you the amount that it did for the food, but that might just be the difference, you know, just in my opinion, brothers, that might be the difference of someone being able to stay there an extra day or two.
Yeah.
Because they're nearly
Or
out,
they're
you
short
know,
or
but
something,
they,
yeah.
they're a bit short or something.
Makes their
It's
life a bit easier.
the old story of, like, you know, you could go to your neighbour and grab a bloody cup of sugar or whatever.
Yeah.
Do a bit of that in the bush, eh? Bring a bit of that back. Bring a bit of that back.
So Shane Oden, it was quite a long story.
Is it?
Yeah, it was,
No,
it was a good one though.
Yep,
I'm
yep.
not see how many words I get wrong. I was camping. I was camping quite a few years ago back on the Goulburn River, fairly isolated on the riverbank off the track. It was an all-drive territory titanium diesel for a 4-day break. On day 3, I went to charge my phone in the territory, went to start it, and it was dead flat, no lights or anything, like it didn't even have a battery in it. It was when I was basic camping, so I only had an Eskia chair, a hot plate, and not much else. That's the way to do it. No solar or dual batteries, no phone service, and about 5% phone battery. Walked up and down the river for hours, but didn't come across anyone. Got back to the car and figured out what to do. Drank all the piss I bought before the ice thawed, and have a fish. Well, dropped out after getting some fuel with the rods, still in the water. Next morning I got up and while dealing with a hangover, I cooked up the last of my food for some energy for the hike I was preparing to do. Just as I finished, fisheries pulled up because they were driving down the river checking people for licences and catches. Showed them mine, explained my battery was flat. The guy went through the back of his canopy and emptied tons of stuff looking for jumper leads. The other guy with him kept saying, no, we don't have any, and wanted to go, but the other guy didn't give up. I'd say he was searching for 40 to 50 minutes, then yelled success. He found them and gave me a jump start. Guy gave me his mobile number and said to call him if anything goes wrong.
Legend.
He packed up once I was running again and went on his way. I packed up as fast as possible and hit the road to get home. Not much of a story, but I was glad he pulled up when he did.
Yep.
And also glad I drank everything to the point of not packing rods away. He said if he didn't see the rod in the water, he wouldn't have stopped.
Yep. And mate, look, another cracking story in that concept of some people just really want to help, eh? Like people will just go out of their way to help. Some people are, oh yeah, mate, I sort of can't really help, or, you know, there's not much I can do or whatever. Mate, even if it's moral support, like, you know what I mean? Like, obviously old mate's determined. No matter what he can do, he's like, I bloody know they're in here. I'm going to find him. Old mate just couldn't give a rat's ass. He's out of there, like, you know, I'm happy just to keep moving. Who is this bloke? We don't even know him.
Yeah.
But some people are just prepared always to go the extra mile.
Yeah.
You know, like, drive a little bit and get some fuel for you, or drive a little bit and get some water
100%.
for you, or, you know, go and get a bloody snatch strap for you, or whatever, you know, like, that's that. Again, that spirit of, you know, look after your fellow camper, traveller or whatever. Get around it. We've over the years we've definitely helped out people, and people have helped us out. When it's, you know, some people, again, we say all the time about, you know, carrying spares or whatever. Some people don't know how to use them. But they're carrying them because they, you know, they hear the stories from people saying, you know, you should carry this or you should carry that. Even, you know, if you don't know how to use it, someone will, you know how to use it. If you see someone out there and they don't know how to use a jack and jack up a car, or, you know, they don't know how to bloody, hook up a snatch strap or whatever, help them out. Share your knowledge, you know, get around them, because, you know, a lot of people are still out there learning and want to do what we're doing. Yeah. There's still a lot of people out there doing some dumb shit. You know, again,
Totally.
bloody, we're talking about bait and all that just before, mate. just last week when we went out to Black Point with our besties, like we pull up at the campsite, mate. You know, it's a little bit off the beach or whatever, but it's pristine in there at Black Point. And we pull into the campsite that we'd booked online, and we rock in. It's like, what is that bloody smell? These guys, whoever had been in there before us, it's like a full, I don't know what, they've got a full esky full of pillies or muleys, whatever you want to call them here. And Bud, they've just thrown them all through the bush at the campsite there. They've obviously tipped the esky out, but like, it's almost like
Fucking legendary.
they've just sat in the bush and just like thrown bait out everywhere, and it's just like,
Fuck's sakes.
like seriously, what are you doing? Like, again, is it that hard? If there's no other campers to give it to, is it mate? It would have taken them. No bullshit. It would have taken them 5 minutes to drive down to the beach and dump it into the ocean. Let the seagulls take it. Like you've thrown it all through the bush. So
Out of camp,
yeah, we're the next campers there. You know, obviously there's bloody tissue paper everywhere, and you know, bloody dunny paper and all that all through the camp. But there's a dunny. There's a good, clean dunny, like a bloody drop box or whatever, which no smell, clean as a whistle. With no bullshit, Jaden. It's like 25 metres away. And they're still pissing in the bush and all the rest of it. So, but I don't get it. There's no bins there. Take your rubbish in, take your rubbish out. But they could have gone to the ocean and thrown it into the ocean, but they didn't. So, you know, there's still flogs out there doing that. Stop being flogs out in the bush, guys. Like, seriously, get your shit together.
100%. Update on the comments. Big Trav.
Big Trav. Cheers, bro.
Hey, fellas. Just landed back home from up north. Just in time for the live feed. Cheers, brother.
Good on you, brother. Good to hear from you, Trav.
Yeah, boy.
Hope you're doing well. Been doing a bit too, mate, yourself. Just done your other big trip and come back and, looking forward to catching up and seeing how you and the misso went. You bloody covered some country and did some pretty cool stuff. So, yeah, keen to see all that come out.
Regan's given us a little side shoot of a subject. Dream rig, lads. If you could have one rig for life and it's got to last the years, what is it?
79 with a coffee machine. Bloody simple, Regan.
You just got to find a coffee machine with lifetime warranty.
No, and it's funny, to be honest with you, Regan, and I'll say it 1,000 times, a million times, because I've seen you do the April Fool's thing. I'm assuming, because we woke up in the rooftop tent the other day, April Fool's Day, 1st of April, and there was a few coming up, and I think you did the, I don't know what that vehicle was, mate, some random thing, but the Eneos Grenadier or whatever they're called, you put that up there and then some other thing. I'm not sure what it was, mate, because I actually don't keep up with all the modern cars, but you said, like, I've found my dream car. And I was just like, this guy wouldn't surprise me either. Like, the 79 will just get put aside because you just use it so much. Like, probably got fucking 500,000 kilometres on it now. And I looked at it and then I just, and Fee's like, you know, it's 1st of April. I said, oh, it is too. He might have got me here. Had a little giggle. But I'll say it to you, and you know, Bud, when we did our YouTube videos at the end of the year, I actually, in my opinion, I actually have my dream vehicles. I have an FTE converted 105 series, fully kitted out, and I have a 79 series fully kitted out. Like,
Which one would last the rest of your life, though?
In all seriousness, I think both. Look, I just don't think completely two different vehicles, but I think why you buy these farm trucks is because they're designed to be a farm truck. So they're pretty basic, man. They're not. There's not much to them. It's all pretty simple shit, and quite a bit of the stuff off this, outside of the electronic stuff, would be reversible with the 105. But again, like, I actually think the two of them, mate, would last my lifetime. Looked after and serviced and all the rest of it. I actually think they're, obviously the 105 is 25 years behind or 23 years behind, but I don't know, man. I honestly don't think you can compare them, or I don't think you can. I just think they're, as much as these are a modern vehicle in the fact that they're like the 79's new, I think they're still built like an old 80 series or an old 40 series or an old 75 series.
The build to go in the mine.
Yeah, like I don't think they're, mate, I'm not, as much as I sound like a carry-on, these are my dream vehicles, and I think they can see the test of time. I just don't see, and I reckon you attest to this, Regan. Like, you bought your 79 for a reason, and I think you've had, you know, your old 75 or whatever, and I think that's the thing, mate. Like, you buy them because they've been on farms and on properties and in mines and all the rest of it for as long as they've been built, and they work, and they're still working. So, dream vehicles, I've got mine. I'm not going to harp on about it. I've got my dream vehicles. I don't dream of anything else. I literally don't dream of anything else. I've got them.
I know it's a sloth, but you know.
But what's your dream vehicle in all seriousness? Like this lot?
I've always had. Regan said, "Jesus Christ, just pick one rig, Barista Brad."
He's a Barista Brad.
Barista Brad.
Fuck,
Yes.
That's not
Yes.
my new name. That's not my new name.
Oh, I'm putting that. That's going in. That's going in on the description of every episode. Join us for Barista Brad and Jack the Joker.
From Hollywood to Barista Brad. Oh, fuck off. Seriously.
Yeah, but what would it be? If you had to pick one or the other? Well, why you fucking spending half an hour on that?
No, I don't know, man. I'd probably the 79 because it's fresh to me and I love it. Like, again, man, we did that Cal Cup Hill. I know you said it's not at its toughest, but it's not at its worst. To drive up there the other day, the adrenaline, the pump, and the V8 singing, and just like it was. But I love it. Like, I absolutely love it. So if I probably, that's bullshit having to pick one. That's dog shit. Seriously, like.
Barista Brad at it again.
Yeah, no, probably this, man. In all seriousness, yeah, because the 105 was mint, and I love it, and it's my favourite car. But just this for how it's set up now with the rooftop tent, the canopy, being able to, it's something that we've always dreamt of, and being able to tow the trailer with and all this. So probably the 79, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
if I was to pick,
my sort of like dream rig, which I've always said to
Barista Brad, fuck you, Regan. That's gold. I love it.
That's sticking.
Sorry, mate. Yeah,
Because
it's not sticking.
Because I had.
Sorry,
well, actually, it wasn't even me that came up with the nickname. It was Shannon. I said, we need a fucking name. We need a nickname for Brad. And she's like, oh, have a breath.
Oh, yeah.
Have a breath.
I've still got to talk to you about that. Yeah.
But yeah, I've sort of had this like dream sort of, and it's sort of inspired, I suppose, from, you know, Ford Drive 24/7 a bit. But I just love the older rigs, but I sort of wanted a bit of every car. So I don't know. I've always thought like, you know, patrols. Get a patrol chassis. You know, coils around. The suspension's awesome on them.
Yep.
Awesome on them. You know, diffs are really strong.
Yeah.
And then sort of go like a, I don't know, like a 60 series or an old sort of, and then chop it into a single cab.
Yeah.
And, you know, like do a FTE motor. I don't know, it's just a bit of cool. Like, you got sort of the best motor, obviously.
Sort of similar to what Sean Wales
Yeah,
built.
yeah, exactly. And it's sort of like, I don't know, I reckon that's just like, it's like almost the ultimate vehicle. Like,
yeah.
you got the best of everything. Like, obviously, Toyota's like, mate, killer motors.
Yeah.
Patrols have got crazy good diffs and all that. You know, obviously suspensions on them is awesome, and you know, to have an old body sitting on top is you know, it'd be cool, and maybe, you know, modernise it a bit. But yeah, that would be like a fighter vehicle, because I've always had each of my vehicles. I've sort of, you know, like I had my N70, and I was, you know, it needed work, and I'm like, I don't want to spend money on it. Like, it's not my dream rig, and it's not one of those vehicles I'm like fixing no matter what.
Yeah.
But like, if I could, you know, and obviously that's a lot of money and, you know, time to do it. But if I had the time and money, I'd have a car like that and it'd be getting handed down to my kids. Like,
Yeah.
and, you know, obviously parts and stuff, depending on, you know, they're getting older now, but it'd just be a car that you just, if it snapped in half, I'd fix
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's always been my dream rig.
And look, mate, if you want to go into the nitty gritty of like if we've got like an open checkbook or whatever.
Yeah.
Like if I had me way again, like
You got a bigger coffee machine.
yeah, big coffee machine, so I could do 4 coffees at once. Look, the reality is, if money wasn't an object, we would definitely have the coil conversion on this, because I reckon that would be the ultimate 79. To have I'm not sure about the 300 extension. I think they're a great concept, and I haven't really ever looked into that. But having a coil rear end in this would just finish it off because, just being able to be, all-round coils would be a sick concept. But again, too, like if you're talking just like open checkbook, crazy vehicles or whatever, having the 105 on 37s would just like I'd love to have 37s, like just
monster.
and
American spec.
And to be honest with you, if it was to be anything like me 105 with Nissan diffs, because we all know they're stronger. Because I think I've done three front diffs in the 105. Never, and the rear diffs bent. So at the end of the day, I've done plenty of diffs in it. So the diffs, in my opinion, from my experience, are the weak link. Oh, just pouring beer on myself. Are the weakest link in it. But yeah, look, I mean, if you were talking open checkbook, the 105 with the FTE fully bombed on 37s with Nissan diffs, fuck, sign me up. Absolutely.
Yeah, I suppose
be
if
sick rig if that's
I suppose
what you're
if I didn't have to do a hybrid, I'd probably
if you were going to just do a setup.
If I was just going to buy
shelf.
a car, and I'd probably go like a 79. Like it's it's like yes, everyone wants it, but everyone wants it for a reason. It's
of course.
It's sick. It sounds sick, and But yeah, so. Thank you for that, Regan.
Yeah, thanks, Regan.
Thanks for charging the
And
topic.
to be honest with you, Regan, I'd love to, while you're on there, if you're still on there, bros, because obviously you got a 79, tell us your dream rig, mate. I want to hear your dream rig. What's your, like...
Probably
so
a Holden Astra or something, I think.
But I want to hear your... Because could you get right into, like, the new rigs on the market and all the rest of it. But I want your dream rig off the shelf, like what we're talking about. And we want your dream... bloody throw your money at it.
Great wall.
Yeah. Great wall on 39s.
You'd probably go pretty good on out in the outback there,
But let us know, Regan. I'm going to have a piss.
Yeah. Well, while you're having a piss, mate, see if you can get your listening ears in.
Yep.
Dan from Make the Matches, top bloke. To be honest, we've never really had anyone help us out. As we spent a few days up, help us out. We spent a few days up at Nolans after we finished the tele track. We were lining up cars up after they had flooded and helped get two Rangers out side by side because I felt sorry for the poor buggers. I ain't a mechanic, but I know enough from building speedway cars. Anyways, feels good to help them out. Feels good to help out others when you can't, so it goes both ways. We had issues after we left the Cape and was on the side of the road, fixed two pop airbags and melting wiring harness. And not one person stopped and helped. We were parked at the service station and was full of people. From then on, I said everyone can get effed. So, and I feel like, can't blame him at all, to be honest. Like,
no, 100%.
Like, if you're, spend your time out helping someone else, good on you, Jaden, feeding it to him. I started calling him flat white.
Flat white or fat white?
Flat white. I think, I'm playing my own life. Yeah, but yeah, I can't help blame him. Like, if you're in a sticky situation, you see, situations where like people are thumbs up and this and that, and I've been in situations where like people want to lift or something, and you got a full car or something like that, and you just see like they've been let down that many times.
Yeah.
And I feel like I don't know enough about over east. I feel like it's a lot more for the younger generation, and I don't know the busyness of it. Like, it seems like the majority of people are, not. WA just feels like you got the big mad country feel. Like everyone helps everyone, and you got your city people, but you only got one city here, like big city here.
But
where
funny,
you got shitloads of city people over there, and I don't know. I might be reading it wrong, totally wrong.
No, and look,
I haven't been over there heaps, but
mate,
I just feel like WA, you're sort of, pumping it a bit more.
And maybe look, and to be honest with you, bros, like
tag team.
I think when we told that story, or when Dan told that story, and we did the first recording.
The one you stuff with your microphone.
Yeah.
All flat white.
This guy, Regan. No, but I remember Regan. I remember Dan saying about that, Buzz, and I was like, yeah, and it's pretty sad that that is the case. And so I'll tell you a story, Buzz. When we did Cape York in 2012, we met a young couple at the Del Hunty. They're having a few electrical issues. They were in a troopy and had a little, like a bloody 6x4 trailer with a tinny on the back. Anyway, we met up with them there and they were having some dramas with some wiring and I just jumped in. They didn't have a multimeter or whatever and I just did some fixing up, did a bit of wiring for them, got them back on the go. And they were, grateful, happy days, and we ended up sort of catching up with them a bit more and we went out to Varelia Point and we ended up camping at this particular spot. They'd camped further up the beach there. Anyway, on their way back, they were sort of come past us and, it was like 4 days later, big toot, see you later, yeah, happy days. Anyway, we ended up catching them on the track on the drive out. We were leaving on the same day and they'd done the same thing you'd done the other day with your axle and ripped the axle out of the trailer. But it had ripped the whole hangers and everything off.
Yeah, right.
Just a trailer had been around for a long time or whatever, and it had actually ripped the hole out of the chassis of the trailer. Anyway, we bloody put it to rest. I think we'd said that on another potty, but put it to rest in there. But their tinny, they were sort of stuck there with their tinny. And they had no way of putting their tinny on their roof of their troopy. Anyway, we've sort of found them on the track. Anyway, I helped them move this trailer out into the bush or whatever, yarn and whatever. And another young couple. And so these guys, we're talking 2012, so what are we like, 12, 14 years ago? I'm 50 now, so, what are we bloody in our late 30s when we did that with our kids. And the couple that had the troopy and the trailer, they would have been 24, 25, I reckon. And they actually were from Western Australia. They worked on Rottnest Island. But anyway, this other couple, they would have been only like 28, maybe 30, coming through on an old 75 series cruiser, single cab tray, with a rack on the top, but nothing on the rack. Pulled up and we started yelling, and old mate's like, oh mate, we're heading into Weipa.
Yeah.
If you're keen, like, we'll bloody chuck your boat up on the top of the 75 and take it into Weipa for you.
Legends.
And it's just like, oh, would you? And it's like, yeah, so not us, but like these guys, it's like, oh, would you? It's like, oh, absolutely. It wasn't until later, so we've all bloody picked up this tinny and like left the trailer in the bush, chucked the tinny on the back of the 75. They all drove out together. We were going a different way. But we actually stayed in contact with these young couple. And the other young couple with the 75 took him into town and he's like, oh mate, this is my local area or whatever, we'll get a mechanic to sort this out. That lad with the 75 actually went back, like got parts and went back in and picked their trailer up and like got it all up and running and all the rest of it and got it back out of the bush with them, like absolute legends. But didn't know this other young couple from a bar of soap, you know what I mean? Like absolute legends. So
I feel like half the time, like, sometimes you're on a mission.
Yeah, and you just got to keep going.
Something's happening or you're with family or something. But I feel like, if someone's broken down and this, I feel like it's almost an adventure helping someone. It's like, bro, it's almost better than sitting at a campsite.
Absolutely.
Bro, and then the people you meet and, of course, yes, you get your folks that don't give a shit that you've helped them. But, bro, like, you meet legends on the track, it's like...
And you will become, and even like Dan's story there, like, because I know Dan would pull up and help anyone. It's just, that's his nature. And I know for a fact that the people that you do help reciprocate. And I think 9 times out of 10, bud, because we live in another space that we live in is like a lot of paying forward. If someone does that right thing by you, like, I'll help you out, oh, mate, I'll give you no, don't bloody give me anything, I remember telling you the other story. So another story, guys, that I'll tell you is when we were driving up to Broome, when we melted the piston in the 105, hence the reason why the FTE conversion come about. But yeah, we were driving along, brothers, and all of a sudden it's just like, bang, power loss, big puff of smoke out the back. Heaps of noise coming out of the motor, and it's just like, holy shit. Like, pulled over on the side of the road and it had dumped all the oil through the turbo. And just by chance, man, and because we were just going away, don't know why I must have pulled all my spare oil and all that out of the car and just didn't think of it, didn't replace it. We're just going up to Broome, 6 hours, 600 car up the road. It was just sort of up the road for us in the builder. But I didn't have any oil to put back in the car and pulled up on the side of the road, bonnet up, got 2 young kids. They were going up there to play netball and we need to be there that afternoon to register these kids. They're playing state championship netball, they've got to be there, Anyway, we're on the side of the road and no reception. It's like, holy shit. And I said to Fee, I'll go for a walk and see if I can find reception. And as I started to walk off, an older couple, but they would have been in their comfortably 60s, pulls up. He's got a bloody 100 series Land Cruiser with a caravan on the back, sees us on the road, slows down, sees us at the point to where he's had to go past, and then buddy, he walks 200 or 300 metres, no bullshit. By the time he's pulled over safe,
On the anchors.
this old fella's walked bloody 200 metres to come back to us. Oh, you all good? And it's this has happened. He goes, oh yeah, rah, we're yarning. And I said, I dumped all my oil. I've got no oil. I have to get a tow. He's like, I've got bloody oil. Do you reckon it'll start? I said, I've got no idea, mate. And he goes, well, I've got oil there. He said, 15W40 and all something. I said, yeah, bloody, keep it. I'll get a tow truck. And he's like, nah, grab it, mate, grab it. And I said, well, what do I owe you? Send me your details and we'll get, you bloody, all I want you to do, young fella, full young fella things, all I want you to do is to pay it forward, help out the next bloke, And I said, I appreciate it, bud. So, they drove off. They were actually going to 80 Mile Beach, grabbed the oil, put it in, 5 litre jug. Obviously they'd take 10 litres, but it was enough to get me on the road, get on the dipstick, started up, the car started, held oil. We ended up driving to Broome. Bloody clanking and smoking and bloody running on five cylinders. That bloke got us out of the shit. And for just pay it forward, mate, pay it forward. So mad fan of paying it forward, and I hope you guys are all about that too. You ever had any situations where you've done that same sort of thing, mate?
Yeah, I had it was, I don't know, it must be just human nature when and people shit's just hectic. I think we were going to Perth for something. I can't remember what we were going to Perth for from Cogen up on the Albany Highway. It's fairly late at night. Well, not late, but it's getting on dark. And we're just driving along, just cruising. And this Colorado, I think it was a Colorado or something. I'm pretty sure it was coming the other way. Next thing I just see this wheel go pop and just fucking flames and shit. I'm like, holy fuck. You just, I don't know, you're not expecting me, I suppose. And he's like, holy shit. Sort of stopped as quick as I could and swung around and, started shouting, is there a fire extinguisher in it? Because there's flames coming out. And, fuck, we'll get on this. And I was like, no, I've got a heap of bottled water in the back though. So I was like, yep, fucking hell up there. And lucky it was just sort of, I think, shit just got hot. I think it was just the brakes got hot and he was sitting there blowing it out just with his mouth. So it was, it wasn't too bad. Didn't
blowing it out with his mouth.
I was like, oh, that works. Because I was grabbing bottles of water out. He's like, oh, yeah. I was like, oh, fucking, I'll put my bottles of water back. But yeah, young fella, still in his P's and stuff. And I can't even remember where he's heading. He's a young fella and didn't really appreciate the help that much. But he's sort of like, oh, fuck, I'm fucked. There was no fixing it. It was a big parts job. And he's like, oh, got no, pulled his phone, got no reception. I said, I'll run you to the top of the hill if you want, and we'll see if you got, get reception. And he got up there and just had reception. Then I taught him the old, that phone, you put your phone in the window and you get extra reception? Nah. So if you just got reception, but not enough to properly, you put your phone on the outside of the window, or you lean it and you dash on top of the window, it actually boosts your
bullshit.
It does. Shannon taught me. Yeah.
Oh no, legends out there.
I'll take you somewhere tomorrow on the way
Give
out.
me some feedback because I'm keen on this.
I do it all the time. So
we had no reception on the beach yesterday, but I didn't hear that story.
No, because there's no reception.
Just didn't think of it.
There's no reception. You're gonna have a little bit. You're gonna be like,
you're gonna have half a bar.
Just there. And so anyway, got his phone call through his old boy, and you know, he organised the trailer and all this sort of stuff, and
Yep.
told him where he was. And when he dropped back to his car, I said, you know, we had somewhere to be, so we left into it. And
Yep.
yeah, it was sort of, it was one of those hectic moments. And then I remember I had another moment when I was quite young. I would have been, I don't know, like 13 or something.
2 years ago.
Yeah, a couple of years ago. This was before the baby was born. And yeah, I was quite young. Well, it was visiting a family in Gosnells, and we were saying goodbye. It was late at night, and just about to, you know, sort of yarning outside the car, and I just remember hearing this almighty fucking bang. Like, I was like, fucking hell, the car's hit the power pole. Like,
Yeah.
it was that friggin' loud. And look over, no car, just this bloke laying on the ground next to his bike. And old mate had been to the pub on the TAB, had a couple of beers, and was on his push bike on the way home, and yeah, just ate shit.
Yeah.
And yeah, the almighty bang was his head, like his skull cracking. Just, yeah, and I mean, I've heard lots of stories of bone, like, you know, the loud noise bone can make, and it was fucking crazy loud. And yeah, so, and then the first thing I was quite young, like I wasn't involved in much in the helping, but I just, old mate just snoring straight away, like, obviously just some sort of natural reaction. And you know, the people were visiting and all that, and stepdad and they all, you know, went sprinting across the road to help him, and you know, the family we were with, they knew first aid and all that, you know, so all the recovery positions and all that sort of stuff. On the ambulance, calling him in, and you know, obviously a fair bit of blood, you know, cracking your skull, you got a bit of blood cranking around, you know, so, you know, running across the house, getting clean towels and stuff to try and slow down the bleeding and all this carry on. And we had a bloke there, he looked like he was off his face, but pulled over to try and help, but actually made it like total fucking chaos, because it was, I can't remember the road, but it was like a, you know, 4 lane, you know, 2 each side sort of road.
Dual carriage.
And this bloke flipped his car around sort of half on the lane but facing the wrong way, and just like, and we were on the footpath, so it didn't give a shit what the traffic was doing, but he's like flashing people, so it just fucking end up chaos, because people are like fucking braking and like, what's this bloke, and of course he was half blocking the road, so they're like, I'm like, bruh, like, what the fuck's going on? Like, we're all good. And you know, the ambulance eventually got there. I think he ended up just leaving her anyway after a bit, like, had enough. We had one bloke pulled up and we're like, oh, we're all good. He's like, no, I'm just trying to get in my driveway. So, oh, fuck you then. And then, you know, ambulance pulled up, and the family we were visiting, they got the details, like what hospital he taken in, where he's got his bike, and he went in to see him, they told us after, he's like, oh, bro, like, they said, oh, he didn't give a fuck about us helping him. He's like, oh, he's just glad he didn't fucking take his wallet, because he just won a shitload of money at the TAB. So it was like, oh, whatever, bro. Like, you know, potentially help save your life, but, you know, he gives a shit, didn't take your TAB.
You didn't take me winning, did you? Yeah.
So, yeah, so there's a couple of funny things. But I haven't personally had people helping us, but pretty much all the time I've been in a situation where I can get myself out. Like, you know, I've either got people close by, or I've always sort of a big thing on carrying tools or a little toolkit. So, you know, we're not like, well, as I've always said, you know, you guys are way up north and you could be a bit more prepared, where we're always local, and, you know, you can just get a car to a position where you can just limp it and cruise to the next town or whatever. So, you know, we've had lots of times where we've been pulled over and had people offer us, and I'm sure they would have gone out of their way to help us, but most of the time, been in a situation, or if we're going forward driving or something, you're generally with someone. So yeah, we've never, nothing that really stands out that people have had to help us. And I think I've told that lake story before. I was seen a bloke, was a backpacker, decide to drive in the middle of a lake, which he shouldn't have. It was dry lake, and in his Subaru, wasn't wearing Birkenstocks, but
He was.
He ate shit, and I'm pretty sure I told it before.
Yeah, we did.
And anyway, we got him out, and it was the same thing. He's like, oh, you know, what do you owe you? And I'll get your cart and something out. Bro, just go help someone else.
Yeah, absolutely. Go and help someone else.
I really believe it. Like, They did the same, I think, like on the Albany Highway, heading back from work off night shift, tired as, and there's just a family on the side of the road, just changing a tyre. Like, he had under control, but pulled over and he's like, oh yeah, and had just got the tyre off.
Yep.
And I was like, bros, I got my battery rattle gun here, always carry it with me. He's, oh, and it's all right. I was like, right, it'll take me 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And, you know, I made it heaps quicker. And,
Yeah.
you know, the little kid there and the head in Albany, and, you know, they were like extremely thankful. And it's just like little things.
Absolutely.
Like, right, it took me like 5-10 minutes to stop. You know,
Yeah.
I was tired, you know, getting home, but like, really, what did it cost me? You know, made their day, and, you know, they were taught, you know, they gave them a few towns they could stop to, you know, obviously when replace their tyre. And I said, oh, you know, recheck your wheel nuts and all that, carry on, because you put a new tyre on. And yeah, they were pumped, you know, from Perth, and you know, they're in the situation. Yeah, they would have been fine without me, but yeah.
And look, to be honest with you, mate, like we haven't had a lot of people help us per se, but we've had quite a few people offer to help. You know, whether you pulled over. I remember a time, mate, where we were, it was Crystal Creek, or we were going hiking. Not that we do a lot of hiking. And just, mate just said to us randomly, like, hope you got bloody plenty of water. And I said, oh, we've got a couple of litres. And he goes, you're going to need heap in there, mate. It's hot. It's a big walk. And they weren't old people, and we weren't old people either. And I said, yeah, no worries. And he goes, I've got a couple of spare litres here, just in like a plastic bottle. It's an ice block. It'll be melted by the time you get there.
Yeah.
It's no, we're all good. But like just the fact that, you know, because they're walking back to their car, they don't need their water, but they were prepared to just like give us that bottle, you know, like just little things like that. You know, there's been plenty of people out there that have offered to help us, offered to give us, you know, whether it be water or food or, you know, assistance if you're pumping up your tyres, or if you're broken down, or if you're whatever. Like, there's some bloody good ripper people out there, eh? There are some ripper people.
Oh yeah, like I said, it's lots of negative. Like, I'm pretty sure it outweighs the positive, but there's so many positives out there, and it's and it makes someone day. Like, we sort of like, I know some people on Instagram and stuff, and we've got small businesses, and you know, they always talk about, you know, they share a few things, like it literally costs nothing to support a small business, like. Or your friend, or like your friend's small business. Like, you can share on Instagram, it costs nothing. You can do this, it costs nothing. You tell a mate, it costs nothing. And literally stopping for a few seconds to help someone, offer them some water, or you know, got a radiator. You know, I'm pretty sure I remember doing that as a kid. You know, like with someone, and you know, radiators boiled over, and you know, offering them some water to just enough to get them to the next town, or.
But do you know how many people, I'm not going to lie to you, how many people, so we've come down here on this trip, obviously we've come down to get the canopy and pick up the car, and then while we're down here we're doing, you know, some bloody medical stuff for fee, but do you know how many people, bud, because we haven't told bugger all people about fee surgery and about the whole what's going on. It's only just come out tonight, and a couple of people that have personally reached out to us, they're aware of it. How many people that we know through Instagram, I've obviously met a couple, like a few of the lads through the boys trip, but we just went and spent a night in amongst all this. We went and spent a night at Brownie's mum and dad's place, Craig and Sharon. Shout out to you guys, love yous to bits. The Brown family, man, Brandon Brown, Brownie 97, I think he is, but he's like he's a bloody 200 series cruiser man now, so he's crossed across the paddock, and then the next day we stayed there the night with those guys, and then the next day we went out. Fee and I jumped on the boat with Brownie's old man, and Brownie jumped in with Shane Cruiser 13 on Insta, and he's got a YouTube channel as well, Shano, and Shano's mum went out and did a bit of bloody blue manna crabbing.
Oh yeah.
But how many of those guys like open their homes up for us? Like, we had the best night with them. We'll be like lifelong friends with the Brown family. And like, obviously I did the boys trip with Brownie, and you know, he bloody come over for dinner and had a few yarns. We're going to go and do some quad bike trips and all the rest of it. But he's a legend. His family, beautiful. But to open up our home, like, bud, we're all coming down here. It's just like, do you want to come over for dinner? And I said to Brownie, like, oh, bloody, wouldn't mind just so we can have a few drinks and all of this, so we might bloody throw the rooftop tent up in the car. He goes, mate, you got a bloody double bed here locked with your name on it. So, you know, we stayed at their house and, man, they bloody put on dinner and snacks, and then the next morning we woke up and, like me, Brownie and Shane, I think we went to bed at bloody 3:30 in the morning. We were going fishing at bloody 7 or 8. We'd had a few hours sleep, but woke up in the morning, his mum got up and made a big feed of bacon and eggs for all of us, and then, you know, like all these other people, come and stay here, come and stay there, like, but how many people outside of like the four-wheel driving community, but are the four-wheel drive community, are the Instagram community, are the social media community, have opened their arms, opened their hearts and opened their bloody homes for us while we're down here? It's next level, brother. It's next level. Like, it just, a lot of these people, man, like, haven't met Feegs and wanted to do a boys trip, or haven't met us as a couple, or just know us through, and just, bud, it's so good. Like, and it's just, it's a genuine community, and it's like, I don't want to ever lose that spirit of, bud, always pay it forward, always look after these people, and I'll say to every one of you that are our friends, our home in the Pilbara is always open. We don't have a big 5-bedroom home, we don't have spare beds and all that, so bloody have a bloody big front yard and a backyard that you can come and stay in, whether you've got a rooftop tent, a caravan, pull your caravan up the front, the power's yours, the pool's yours, the shower's yours, the bloody bar, sit at the bloody Bent Bull Bar in the back of the Red Dust Adventures bloody home base, and come and have a beer with us and have a laugh and a joke or whatever. It's open to all of us, and I mean that. Like, and you're the same here, bro. It's like to come down here.
I'm saying just
here's my property.
It's
like,
$50
you know?
a night.
Well, I'm cheaper. I'll do $49.95. And I'll throw in a shower.
Anyone that's subscribed to the Off-Road Yarns on Patreon, you get a discount.
What's it called? Paddock 10 or something like Mangy 10 discount or something.
One of the Ups 10.
Ups 10. There's a discount code for you, Ups 10. But man, just. The matches have come through, jumped in here and started on the property.
Awesome
we've
family.
come down there and opened the property. Like, beautiful family, like a sick family. And they do it to you, man. I know that, you know, if they went back to Victoria and jump back on their property or wherever they end up, I know that you and my family and your family could rock up to the Metches bloody land and just camp up straight up. You know what I mean? Like, we'd be more than welcome. I know that, you know. So, bloody some sick community spirit out there. Keep it up.
We've got a few comments to catch up on.
Have we? Bring them on, bro.
Or a couple. Regan said, dream rig is a 79, to be honest. Never thought I'd be able to buy a brand new one and set it up how I want. I'll drive it till it snaps in half or however long it takes to flog it takes flogging in week in, week out.
Yep.
I understand. And I like this next one.
Because he does use it, man. Like, he's 79.
Is his work rig.
I mean, at the end of the day,
want us to go to work and back.
I don't think people, and maybe some people do underestimate, like, obviously we have a 79 that for a big part of the year does get parked up because we, you know, and it is like a touring rig. We set it up completely different to what he does. Like, that's his whole life.
Yeah,
so it's his touring rig, his weekender, his bloody, you know, weekend warrior, his work rig. Like, it spends
bashed around the station and
it gets smashed every day. Like, thousands of kilometres of corrugations.
If anyone's products testing, send it to Regan.
100%. And that's the thing, you know, he's in floods, bloody drought, bloody
corrugations flat out.
And I think that's a testament too, bud, to the 79. Obviously he's had cruisers, you know, cruisers are in his blood, but the fact that he'll say like that, and the fact that he's bought a brand new one, so good. But it works, like, and it's and how he's got his setup works for him. Yeah, do you know what I mean? It's and product testing. Yeah,
there's your man.
This guru.
The gutter on your tent, bros. Big Trav's Adventures. The best ever four-wheel drive I ever had was a Mazda 121 bubble car. Fair dinks. I did the, how do you say that, Menari Point and James Price Point at the, fucking bros, what's all these names, cuz?
James Price Point is up in the Pilbara, or up past
Not the other one, Dampier Peninsula.
Yep, Kimberley. Yep.
And also is the best car for Capel Beach. And bros,
Capel Beach, it would be.
I can contest to the Mazda 121. I had before I even had my license.
Yep.
Hopefully there's no police listening. No, but I didn't have a license.
Trav's a copper.
Oh, fucking.
Yeah.
Hopefully we tried. No, I had a Mazda 121 before I even had my license. One of my mate taking me over to Busselton to buy it. $700.
Yep.
Clutch used to slip. The boot used to open by itself. Half the key was snapped the ignition, so you could start with anything. So you had to wait till you got to 3 grand before you could punch it foot flat.
Yep.
Half that was snapped off before the muffler.
I do one.
Right, that's the amount of backfire. That's what we used to drive around in town.
Yeah.
You used to be able to tap the accelerator and near it. Fuck, it was like gunshots. So,
Yeah.
but this thing, like, we used to jump it through mud, just used to flog it, like,
Yep.
and obviously, because I wasn't replacing no clutch, and then so I'd wait till I'd get to 3 grand before I foot flat. So it was always like on limiter sort of thing. And, pull up someone's house on limiter, I got to the point I was just, I don't care, I just want to blow this car up and get rid of it.
Yeah.
Could not blow it up.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
only
yeah.
thing I ever fixed on it was the alternator shit itself. Even then, I somehow got some, I think it was like 70 series bushes, like 75 series bushes.
Yeah.
And then had a bloke ground them down for me to fit them in. And then we fucking chucked it. He chucked
Full
it
bush
in.
mechanic.
Yeah, he chucked it in for us and off we went again. And then I sold it for $500. And then the bloke I sold it to put a new clutch in it, welded a Falcon exhaust to it. Then he used to, not that I condone drink driving, but he used to get a bag of ice, tip it at his feet, shovel his stubbies in there,
Yeah, yeah.
and then he used to drive there and just grab his stubbies out off the floor. And then he sold it for $500. And then he sold it for $500 after that.
Oh, God.
It would just not die. And those are the 121s.
And the funny thing is, what's more impressive about Big Trev saying that is they don't call him Big Trev for no reason. He's a big human. You're a big human, Trev. And
He would probably remove the front seat and sit in the back.
I'd be like Hightower off the police academy. He just rip that seat and just sit in the back seat, Big Trev, just down Cable Beach like that. He'd fill like 2 Eskies. He'd put 2 boxes in his seat. Good on you, Big Trev. Because Cable Beach, what a sick vehicle. Weigh about 250 kilo, the bloody thing. Yeah, man.
Reagan's back on the thing. Why is Brad wearing mini shorts?
It seems like it, bros, eh?
He's got the right camera angle for it, eh?
And why are you looking at me groin, you sicko?
I hope you got undies on.
Yeah.
Might be editing to do in there.
Got half a slug hanging out, Regan. It does look like I got me shorts. Just me footy shorts, bros.
Yeah.
No slug hanging out.
At least it's taking the attention off my pink cup.
Yeah, where is that pink cup? Let's see that pink cup again.
Oh, it's not. It's
But
a pink and sippy cup. But yeah, positive things. It does happen out there. And the people you meet, even Jan and to Dad, the other day, they're like, the people they've met, and it does happen. Shit as it all. Especially on Instagram, and there's all the negative stuff people posting because everyone seems to froth off negative stuff and can get a bit over, I don't know, you just get sick of it, to be honest. But just want to do a bit of a positive, funny, funny.
I'd be interested, mate, if Big Trav and Regan, if you're still on there, give us quickly punch in a quick message like.
You got 2 seconds. No.
Yeah, a couple of you, because Regan, you bloody cover some country, mate, and I want to get a couple of your positive stories or a positive story. Trav, you've travelled bloody big parts of Australia and as a copper and working remote and working in communities and all that sort of stuff. A couple of your positive stories, mate, a couple of the things that you can just say yep, mate, this bloke helped me out here or this bloke helped me out here or whatever, punch them in because I know you guys would have some good stories to tell. And again, I know, Regan just put up that post just recently, and I know the whole shooting cattle is it's a massive controversy to what I call the people that don't understand a lot about what it's like to live on country. I'm not going to try and tell people out there that I understand how Regan lives or what he does because I don't. You just walk in the water, buzz. There's a rope there, bros. Or we just. Yeah. Well, it was on camera, Buzz. It was on camera. Jaden can't see that rope there that he's just looked at for the last 4 hours. But oh, was it clay? Oh, you went ass up on the clay, Buzz. Yeah, because you stood on the rope. But yeah, I'm not going to try and attest to just what I know what it's like to be a farmer or be a cattle station worker or whatever, because I don't. But I've been around a bit, and yeah, I understand the process of life. And you know, if a cattle is struggling or it's caught in a cattle grid like the one just recently, bros, and you had to do the job and get it knocked over, and people pissing and moaning about it. Some people, because I think maybe people aren't educated. Education's a thing. But there was a lot of positive feedback within that post saying, you know, like, good on you, mate, humane thing to do, all the rest of it. Again, you know, like there's...
Keeping it real, bros.
Yeah, and
like,
I think...
we
But
get a
just
bit
even
soft
one of
on
the
the
things... Yeah, we do get a bit soft, but one of the things, like, out of that point, Jaden, is not only is he doing what he's, it's part and parcel of his daily process, but a big part of that was getting that big bastard out of that grid. So if the local community, whether it be the Indigenous going back to their community or local farmer or himself coming back, you know, in the middle of the night you're coming along there at 80 on a dirt road and there's a bloody big bull stuck in the thing, like, but it could actually kill people.
Right,
Do you know what I mean? So it's not, and that's, again, Regan, that's just you doing a good thing. You know, like I want to hear a story of what people have done that you've seen that have done good, Regan, but that's Regan doing a good thing, man. You know, like, one, he's doing a humane thing by the bull. Two, he's doing a good thing by the community and the local farmers and everyone that travels along that road. And three, it's a bloody Aussie thing to do. Do you know what I mean? So good on you for doing that, bros. Like, you know, I always back, you know, whatever you do. I love the way you go about it. I love what you stand for. And, yeah, bloody hanging out to get out to the pub with, you know, you said to me the other day, I sort of commended you on what you're doing out on the pub, and, you know, you're saying like, your old man, and I think you said your stepmum, bloody correct me if I'm wrong when I say that. And yeah, your brother doing his plumbing and all that sort of stuff out there, and you're all doing an amazing job, and can't wait to bloody tip back a couple over the bar with you, or, you know, out the back or whatever, and yeah, we'll do a bit of camping, and I won't let you get a word in, mate, or anyone else in the bar, but we'll
as per usual.
As per usual.
I'd have a breath.
Yeah, I would have a breath, take a breath, bloody Barista Brad, bloody...
What?
Flat white. Flat white, I'm bloody...
More round white, but anyway.
Got a bit going on, yeah. Short shorts, Brad, bloody... few names.
At least I only got Pinky Cup or Sippy Cup.
So come up with some more for Jaden, but might have seen everyone go to bed, mate. It might be is what it is, but yeah. Was there any other questions on that?
No, I think it was just Evan. He said that he's never really had anyone to help, but he's always got his big dogs, and he's got some big looking gnarly dogs, and he said that's why everyone's ever stopped helping him. But
well, and there's the thing too, like yeah, Evan did say that he's obviously generally runs with that 2 or 3 dogs, and obviously they're quite protective of Evan in his space, so probably a lot of people don't. And yeah, from me doing a bit of stalking on one of bloody Evan's posts, we got to actually see Evan in the flesh, because we never knew what bloody Evan looked like, did we? And he's a big bastard too. He reminds me, I don't know whether you remember, like bloody, he's bloody like a big grizzly bear, the bastard, but yeah, there was a bloody show I watched back in the day, and he looks very identical. But yeah, he's a big human. So if you're out in the bush and you mind your own business and doing his own things, I think he's a pretty private person. Just don't think he's a real, extroverted person, from my understanding. I might be surprised when we get down there. He might fucking talk me under the table. But yeah, just goes about his business, does his thing, and he says like a lot of people won't. You know, maybe because of the dogs and he's a big bastard or whatever, get a little bit fucking, he'll be right, fucking see you later, whatever. But that's a funny concept too, that, again, you know, we're only just recently, we're just talking about this new thing. There's a post you all would have seen go up on the, I don't know, whether it be TikTok and YouTube and bloody Facebook and all that sort of shit about that there's a troop you pulled over on the side of the road up there in the Territory, and there's a lad running out in the middle of the road trying to stop a car or a truck, I think it is, and you know, and the truck's bloody trying to swerve everywhere, and old mate's just not going to jump out of the way. And it's a thing, you know, like they do that. They pull you out of your car or pull you out of the truck and bash you and leave you on the side of the road and take your car. And I know I've had a few yarns with a few, I'm not going to throw their names out there, but was a bit of like, yeah, well, that's natural selection and that's roadkill and all the rest of it. And I'm the same, mate. Look, I don't know what you'd be like there, Jaden, if you drive along with, Shannon and Marnie in the middle of fucking nowhere, mate, and, someone's trying to flag you down and won't let you go past them, if that makes sense. They're trying to run out in the middle of the road. Because if someone needs your help, man, and there's something really going wrong, they'll wave you down from the side of the road. When they're running in the middle of the road, my initial thing is they mean harm.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
They made bull bars for a reason. It's not just the bulls.
and I'm the same, mate. Like I'd protect my wife and family before I'd protect some stranger on the side of the road. I'm not out to kill people, but and then there was quite a few people on there talking about, back in the day, truck driving. They were told by the local police force, like, run them over, come straight to the police shop, the cop shop or whatever. Let us know if you've hit someone, because you're not out there to lose your life for people. So. Interesting to see people's feedback on that too, but
well, 100%. I suppose we're on the wrap up.
Yep.
I can't see that far, but we're must be an hour and a half or so.
Is it? There you go.
Yeah, something like that.
Episode 14?
15.
15.
15. Yeah.
It is, it's 15.
5 more to another big stonker.
Yeah. Strap yourself in for that.
I'll just fly my helicopter up and come and see
you. Come up and see Brewster Bad. And I'll make you some. I'll turn the coffees on. I reckon if we do the next stonker and you can come up to the Pilbara for the stonker, I might just do espresso martinis all night.
Yeah, that'd be dangerous.
Ooh, that'd be good though.
Yeah, with a bit mix it with a bit of Kilkenny.
Well, I tell you who can make a mean espresso martini. Brownie's old man Craig.
Yeah, I've seen that in your video. Yeah, so we've heard.
Deadly espresso martini.
Yeah.
So well there you go, Craig and Brownie. Stonker. We'll get you up to Headland with us, and we'll sit around the Bent Bull Bar. We'll chuck the camera up on the Bent Bull Bar, and we'll get on the martinis. Lock that in, eh? That'll be good. Bloody oath.
Regan said, just remember it's a pub, Brad, not a cafe.
Oh my God, man. Killing me here. He's killing me, eh? He's like, mate, can you imagine the banter?
I did that potty with him. He's quick on it. He asked him a question. He's like,
he's king of banter.
Oh,
yeah, like I love a bit of banter. I reckon, mate, we're all going to get along good, aren't we? Yeah.
I reckon. That's the Fink. We need to head up for the Fink.
Yeah, head up to the Fink. And, the coffee machine will be fucking thrown over my shoulder.
Yeah.
We'll be at the pub and we're drinking pints of Kilkenny. Does it sell Kilkenny on tap there?
Oh, mate. You can bring a couple of cans up, I suppose.
Holy shit.
Got you on them, mate.
That's
I told you
cafe.
they're good. And they're not even
No, they're good, mate.
Right, you wait until you get them on the tap.
Can you get them in a cafe?
Not a cafe, you fucking
They've got to be in a bar then.
Not a bar, Not everyone has a coffee machine that's doing on.
That's not a fucking cafe.
Anyway, episode 15, thank you very much. There's positives. Keep it positive out there, guys.
Yeah.
Help someone.
Look after your fellow
doesn't cost you
travellers.
bugger all.
Yeah.
Get out there and what's his last comment? He's scraping the line here, Regan.
Come on, Regan, throw it at us.
Something. Have a good night, blokes. Thank you very much, Regan. Thanks for sticking around the whole night as well. Yeah. 2-episode night.
Man, we love you to bit. You're an absolute legend in our eyes. And holy shit. She's getting wet. She's getting wet. She's live from the paddock.
Thanks everyone listening.
Yeah. Thank you, Big Trav, Dan Metcher, Johnny DaCosta, who else jumped in? Dylan, Last Minute Living. Who else jumped in? Nath. Thanks, mate.
Anarchy Auto Care.
Anarchy Auto Care, yeah.
Hannah, my sister. You can go fuck yourself now. Yeah. Thanks everyone. Everyone that's jumping on Spotify and Apple and YouTube and everything. Love it. Flick your questions in. Any of your comments on the whatever recorded. I still want more audio in. Love play some audio for people or videos.
And just quickly, we did put up a story, a questionnaire thing last week because we were going to do that tonight, and then we've just bloody mixed it up because that's what Jaden and I do. We shoot from there.
Yep.
So we did get a couple of questions. I think we got 3 questions. We got one about the 30-30 process,
gun laws,
and auto versus manual.
Yeah.
They will be in episode 16. So listen out for that.
We're getting there. We're
That'll
getting
be
there,
coming up
guys.
soon.
We're catching up.
Yeah, we're catching up from the Manjimup. From the ups. Catch up from the ups. Yeah.
All right. See you guys.
All right. See you next time. Cheers, legends.